Fox News Decision Desk can now project that former President Donald Trump will win the state's GOP primary. Trump now has 3 times as many delegates as former Governor Nikki Haley. And then with these tonight, he could add up to 50 more.
Not a lot of suspense tonight.
Not a lot.
Haley could not.
You could say that again. That call was made within 60 seconds after the polls closed in South Carolina, Nikki Haley's own state. The dominance of Trump was record-smashing, and we got 2 huge takeaways from the weekend's primary. Also, we got a brand new Electoral College projection, which shows that President Trump is headed for an electoral landslide not seen in decades. This is going to absolutely blow your mind. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. It was, without question, an absolute thumping. Donald Trump crushed Nikki Haley in her own backyard of South Carolina over the weekend, winning their state's primary in record-setting fashion. As the dust cleared from the results that were again announced within just 1 minute of the polls closing, it was clear that there were overall 2 huge takeaways from the South Carolina primary. The first takeaway involves Nikki Haley. Simply put, gang, Nikki Haley is election interference. That's one of the major takeaways from the South Carolina primary, where Nikki Haley, Hillary Haley, was absolutely and utterly humiliated. The fact that Nikki Haley refuses to suspend her campaign after what is considered the death knell of any campaign, losing in one's own home state. The fact that she continues to force President Trump to spend money on the primaries rather than turn his entire attention to defeating Biden in November means that Nikki Haley is now officially engaged in election interference. Election interference does not come solely by way of the weaponized legalism of the Biden and Injustice Department, of Jack Smith and the money laundering antics of Fani Willis and her boy toy prosecutor, nor does election interference come solely by way of the legacy media and big tech, colluding to bury stories damaging to sleepy Joe Biden. No. Election interference, ladies and gentlemen, election interference is now officially coming from inside the Republican Party. Make no mistake, as of today, Nikki Haley and her ilk inside the Republican establishment are every bit as complicit in election interference as is Fani Willis or Jack Smith. Another way of saying it is Nikki Haley, as of today, is officially a Democrat surrogate. And that's exactly what Democrats are saying. Exhibit A. Here's Gavin Newsom, gruesome Newsom himself, on CNN.
Do you think that Haley or Trump would be easier to beat for him?
Well, first of all, I think she's one of our better surrogates, so I hope she stays in. I hope she does well tomorrow.
All the nasty stuff she says about Trump.
She's spot on 99% of it. So I'm enjoying this primary, and I hope it continues. So I wish her luck.
Now you heard him yourself, right? She's one of our best surrogates. That's coming from the unofficial backup Democrat presidential nominee in case Weekend at Bernie's Biden can't make it across the finish line. And we do have data that points to the fact that Haley's support in the primaries is comprised almost entirely of Democrats or left-leaning independents who have absolutely no intention whatsoever to vote for her in November were she to win the nomination. Take a look at this NBC exit poll. When voters were asked, do you believe Biden legitimately won the 2020 election? 88% of self-professed Trump voters said no, of course not. 9 in 10 Trump voters said no, Biden did not legitimately win the 2020 election. But look at Haley's voters. 80% said yes, Biden's totally legit. Gang, those aren't Republicans. And it's not hard to demonstrate. The latest CNN poll, was just taken some months back, found that 70% of Republicans do not believe Biden was legitimately elected. And that poll's reflective of a number of other polls that all show the same thing. The super majority of Republican voters believe that Biden cheated. Biden was not legitimately elected. And yet, we're supposed to believe that Nikki Haley's voters, 80% of whom believe Biden is completely and totally legit, are Republicans. Nikki Haley is election interference. She is a Democrat surrogate whose campaign has effectively become a money laundering operation. Now, the good news is that it does appear that some of the bigger donors are starting to pull their funds from this illicit money laundering operation. The Koch brothers, well, only one's still living here, but the Koch brothers Foundation Americans for Prosperity has announced they are officially suspending their financial support of Haley's election interference. Hillary supporting Reid Hoffman has announced he's pulling funds from her money laundering operation as well. And even Representative Ralph Norman, who was an early and avid endorser of Hillary Haley, even he over the weekend announced that the primary is over. The people have spoken and they overwhelmingly want Trump. And that, my friends, leads us to the second huge takeaway from over this weekend, a takeaway that's going to absolutely blow your mind. But first, gang, as you know, our founding fathers created the American Constitution for the very purpose that our rights as citizens would be protected at the fundamental level. Over the past few years, however, we've directly witnessed the growing threats posed to those rights. To fight back against this creep against our freedoms, I partnered with a group of amazing patriots who have formed the Association of Mature American Citizens. AMAC, as it's known, is America's leading senior advocacy and benefits organization and acts as a conservative, patriotic alternative to the AARP. AMAC, on top of being a proud Turley Talk sponsor today's video, pays attention to the voices of their members and champions patriot concerns on Capitol Hill. AMAC provides its members with top-notch insurance and travel benefits, as well as numerous other services, all without the big government agenda of the AARP. So just click on that link below to join today. Membership is immensely affordable and provides you with superior benefits and a community of over 2 million members just like you who are dedicated to preserving our traditional American values. Between Biden's stagflation, the open border, and the disastrous situation brewing overseas, it's safe to say mainstream Washington advocacy groups are not putting our interests first. But click on that link below, and you can help bring that travesty to a just end. Join AMAC today and help save our nation. Click on that link or visit amac.us/Turley and choose the right plan for you and, most importantly, for our nation. We had, as of this weekend, 2 records officially smashed. First and foremost, the one and only Donald J. Trump set a brand new record on Saturday. Trump got the most votes in a South Carolina presidential primary ever. More than doubling his previous vote total. Again, this comes on the heels of Trump getting back-to-back record vote totals in Iowa and New Hampshire. The second record, according to our good friend Rich Barris over at the People's Pundit, deliciously involves Nikki Haley, who now holds the record of the largest margin loss in a home state. She was literally that humiliated over the weekend. The AP led with perhaps the single most accurate headline of them all. Donald Trump's Republican home field advantage is everywhere. And that is, as the AP put it, that is the major takeaway from what happened over the weekend. This is now officially Trump's party. The GOP is now, as far as the people are concerned, as far as actual Republican voters are concerned, the GOP is now officially the Trump Patriot Party. Remember, again, Rich Barris brings this up. No one, gang, no one wins both Iowa and New Hampshire. No one. Republican, Democrat, it doesn't matter. Iowa and New Hampshire constitute radically different voter demographics. And in an open primary season where an incumbent isn't running, we have never had a candidate take both Iowa and New Hampshire back to back. But that is exactly what Trump has done. This is Trump's party, period, whether in Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina. Now, this is not a coronation, Nikki. It's not a ring to kiss. The people, actual Republican grassroots voters who are coming out voting for the Republican in November, right? Not your AstroTurf voters. Real Republican voters are coming out in numbers we have literally never seen before from either party. And they are voting, not coronating, voting for Donald Trump. Take a look at the latest projected Electoral College map, gang. This is going to blow you away. Trump right now, as we speak, is projected to win 312 electoral votes in November. That's the biggest number a GOP candidate has won since George Herbert Walker Bush in 1988. This according to the latest analysis by Decision Desk. Trump is poised to win the biggest GOP landslide in 36 years. It's no coincidence that even John Thune of South Dakota, the number 2 Republican in the Senate, has come out and officially endorsed Trump over the weekend. They're all lining up behind him, gang. They recognize that if he's coming back to power and if they want to share in that power, they better get behind him and get behind him quick. So what are your thoughts on all of this, gang? What do you think of Nikki Haley? You think she's an official election disruptor? What are your thoughts on November? Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to smash that bell and subscribe button. God bless. As many of you know, we have unfortunately been completely and totally demonetized, which is putting our daily communication with one another at risk like never before. Now, we are actively working on getting this resolved, but as things stand, this channel has, without any warning, been totally and completely demonetized. And as Elon Musk said so powerfully last week, the whole point of these demonetization efforts is to deliberately try to make us patriots feel like we're all alone. They want to sever our relationship with each other and force on us a kind of digital solitary confinement so as to demoralize us and discourage us like never before. But to their horror, it's not working. Over this past week, you have carried this channel like never before. We've had more people than ever make the courageous decision to bypass big tech and join our Insiders Club. We have direct access to one another that can never be interrupted by big tech overlords. Over the last 7 days, we've seen literally thousands of you come to our rescue. And you've done it in 2 ways. You've signed up for our free newsletter and you've officially joined our Insiders Club. Those 2 acts alone are enough for us to collectively stand together and never, ever have our relationship severed. So I'm inviting the rest of you to do the same today, just by clicking on that link below and signing up for our newsletter and joining our Insiders Club. You are guaranteeing that there is nothing that big tech can do to get between us and make us feel like we're in a digital solitary confinement. It's as simple as clicking on the link below right now and opting into our free email newsletter. And once you do that, you can financially support us by joining our Insiders Club. Gang, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you enough for your support during a time like this. You are my heroes, and it will be my mission to express my appreciation for every single one of you each and every week.